Hello, you are listening to Butterball. This is a podcast of family members. We're going to talk a little bit of ball. We're going to talk a little bit about some other things, and we're going to try to have a little fun while we're doing this. My name is Scott Butterbaugh, and with me are my kids, Drew and Nicole. Drew, say hello.
Hello.
That's it. That's pretty short. All right, Nicole, you want to say hello?
Hey.
Okay, all right. Well, to start with, why are we doing this podcast? I'm just going to turn this over to Nicole.
Oh my God.
Because this was her idea initially.
I appreciate that. But yeah, I guess how this kind of got put out there as an idea. Me and Dad and Drew, for that matter, we were all talking a few years ago before conference realignment happened because we had lots of connections to a bunch of teams in the Big 12. I've been to 3 different Big 12 schools for, 3 different degrees. Drew went to another one.
2 former Big 12s.
Yeah, well, not anymore. At the time, everybody was in the Big 12. Drew went to one of the other ones. We had season tickets at one of the other ones. Like, we had, random, connections with, I swear it was, 8 of the 10 teams in the Big 12. And so we knew Big 12 football really well. So we were like, Butterbaugh Big 12 football show. That would just be awesome. Conference realignment happened. That Big 12 football show obviously wasn't going to work out. Recent years, am I allowed to say Dad is newly retired? So now he's got some free time on his hands. We figured might as well talk ball and do the podcast anyway. Even if it's not about Big 12 football, we can talk about all kinds of sports.
There you go. Because we don't profess to be great at any one thing, but boy, we're good at a lot. That's what we think anyway. So I don't know, Drew, your thoughts on this?
I don't think we're qualified to talk about anything, but we like talking, so everyone should listen to us talk.
There you go. I mean, we can always have an opinion, or we can always have a point of view. We're the everyman.
Anybody can have those things.
Yeah, we know
And
that.
we do.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that's why we're doing this. We're going to have a little bit of fun with it, and hopefully, it'll just be a good time. The Butterball name, obviously, is a riff on our last name, Butterbaugh, and so we thought it was just catchy. We even created a cute little logo for ourselves that we really like. It's a little Butterball surrounded by some sports equipment. We think it's kind of cute.
Anyway,
you like that?
I do think it's cute.
Yeah. All right. Well, then we'll come back to the name thing later, but let's talk a little bit of ball. So, I mentioned that while none of us obviously are high level athletes or anything like that, we've had lots of experience in sports and in athletics and just with ball throughout our lives. And how we relate to it today, how it might be important to us today. So I'll just turn it over to you guys so you can tell a little bit about your story. Nicole, what are your thoughts on ball and how's it still important to you?
Yeah, well, I think it's funny that you say none of us are high-level athletes. Some of us were at one point. So I don't
want to oversell it.
The major downselling here, though, is not going to do you any favors, in my opinion. But so, I guess I can tell mine first since you tee it up to me again. I cheered in college. I was a gymnast mainly. Well, we played all sports growing up technically, because Mom and Dad wanted us to. But gymnastics and cheer were my thing. Ended up going to University of Oklahoma, cheered there for 1 good year. Then had a terrible back injury that was extremely painful. Maybe I can talk details about that in a different episode because it's pretty traumatic how bad I let it get, honestly. So that ended up ending my career there. That was unfortunate. Then I decided I might as well just dive into my studies because I was in college and I figured I might as well just, figure out what I could do with my degree, which was in communication. So I started to research athletes and coaches and their communication just because I kind of figured out that you can. I had to do a research study for my senior capstone, and they make you narrow your focus. And so I said, well, can I focus on sports? And they said, of course you can. Found this whole line of research about that. So ended up moving into that field, got my master's fully funded at Baylor, published my master's thesis on the yips, or like mental blocks in sports. And then now I'm getting a fully funded PhD at Texas. So I still get to study sports, athletes, communication. Now I'm doing a lot more work in the NIL space. I've worked side gigs in like entertainment with our minor league teams out here in the area, and like operational roles and whatnot. So I've been fully immersed in the sports field professionally and academically for a few years now.
Okay, so maybe I did undersell you a little bit.
Thanks.
Yeah, you got a lot of great things going on there, and obviously I'm very proud of that, and it's awesome because you've had a lot of great experiences and made a lot of memories, and you're still doing it. So that's cool. Drew, tell us your story.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up coached by my dad, obviously, as you know. I grew up playing baseball, then I went to college and played club baseball. I got my degree in sports marketing, which I still use today. Started playing hockey in 2021, and that still keeps me busy. So yeah, I keep up with sports, and that's about it.
Yeah, those coaching experiences, I'm sure Drew didn't like all of them. As a dad, sometimes it's hard to keep your cool and stay calm. But man, we had a lot of fun over the years with, football and baseball, and now both Drew and I play on the same hockey team, so we have fun with that as well.
Drew knows a lot out of the three of us, I would say Drew is probably the most ball knowledge, to be completely honest.
He's dialed in, especially to all the players and stuff now. I mean, when I was younger, I used to pay attention a lot more closely to all of the players, could tell you where they went to college, all that kind of stuff. I don't have that anymore, but Drew does. I know he does because he brings stuff out, and I'm like, yeah. Then I'm researching, who's that guy?
I'm a stat nerd,
Yeah,
and I work
yeah.
with numbers, so I like my numbers. I like my stats.
Yeah. Well, and my story is, I obviously I'm the old guy because I'm the dad, and growing up, it was a time, before cell phones and before the video games of today and everything else. So all we ever did, yeah, all we ever did was play sports. I mean, that was my social circle. It was the way I met new friends. It was the source of entertainment. We did it, I grew up in small communities, so we did it at whatever sport was in season, and I played them all. Did everything. My father was a football coach. He coached high school and small colleges, and I ended up playing for him for a few years before I went on to the University of Northern Iowa. And so I wouldn't call me a gym rat because I wasn't in the gym all the time, but I'd say I'm a sports rat. I was always doing sports. So
You would change the logo to a little rat now instead of the
sports rat.
Yeah,
that's a thing.
And we would always be running around the fields. It was kind of like the Sandlot when I was growing up. You just went up to met at one of the schools, played touch football, tackle football, flag football, whatever. Or you might be playing work up, which is a baseball type game in the summers, and they had basketball courts, and I played outdoor hockey back then. I mean, just everything. So, and sports to me, since I grew up doing that, we moved about every 5 years. It was always a source of my new friend group when I moved to a new community. And then, I worked in leadership roles in my career, and the connection to team, to leadership, to being a teacher, a coach, those types of things. I mean, I drew all of my leadership style from athletics and coaching. That's basically what I viewed myself as anyway in working with any kind of teams. I can't say enough good things about athletics. I was always secretly hoping that my kids would be interested in athletics. I mean, the mantra to you kids growing up, though, was you're going to do something, right? You're not just coming home after school and sitting around. We're not going to have that. You're going to either play an instrument, be in a band, be an actor, do something after school, be in some kind of group. Yeah, whatever. But you all gravitated towards sports, and that was a good thing because I enjoyed it. And um, and now that you're still involved with sports, I think it's really really cool, and it gives us something to talk about every week. So now that I have a lot of time on my hands, we can meet every week, talk some ball, talk some other stuff, and just have a lot of fun with it.
Have a
So
ball.
if that wasn't clear, you played Division One AA football in college.
Not really. No. I mean,
Well,
I started out playing Division III, and then I transferred to the University of Northern Iowa Division One AA my sophomore year. Um, and then I ended up tearing up my knee in spring ball of my sophomore year. And that was back then, since I'm old, it was a pretty bad injury too. It was a career ender. So that's all I had. That's all I had in college for my career. It ended, before I was a junior. After about 2 years, I was ready to do something again. I played a little club rugby my last year there, and then played a little rugby the first year out of college when I lived in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and kept doing the recreational sports things until I kept hurting stuff, and then took a long, long retirement before Drew and I started playing hockey, and so far so good. Yeah,
All
we're having fun
roads
with it.
lead to men's league hockey.
That's right. That's right.
yeah, no injuries in hockey at all. Nice
No,
work
he's
not
had some of
mentioning
those
any
too.
of those. Yeah.
Well, I mean, for the most part, you're just trying to glide around and have a little fun. Keep the. There's no way I could run up and down a basketball court these days. That'd be torture.
Basketball's
But
not fun anyway.
well, you don't want to offend the basketball listening public, do you?
I don't know. I mean, well, out of all the sports I've played, I would rank my basketball experience as probably the lowest.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe that's a discussion for another time too. We'll get into the how and the why behind that. All right. Well, anything else we want to talk about ball right now, or our experiences? Is that enough? I think that's enough. That kind of gives people a sense of who we are, right? Good. Good. Okay. So we mentioned that the title of this podcast is Butter Ball. Our last name is Butterbaugh. Baugh is the end of the butter baugh. I was just going to see if you guys had anything to add to this. When I was growing up, if somebody asked me my name and my last name and I said Butterbaugh, they immediately thought I said Butterball. The mind closure on that is amazing to me, And so one time when I was in college, back then we had actual printed phone books, and I was like, hey, open that phone book and see how many people's names end with the last part baugh. And there was probably 12 different names, Allbaugh, Harbaugh, Pewterbaugh, Butterbaugh, Ozenbaugh, Brumbaugh, Slaybaugh, a bunch of others. And I'm like, I wonder if any of them have the same problem that, when they tell somebody their name, what's your name? Harbaugh. You say Harbaugh? You don't think that, right? I mean, Jim Harbaugh, when people say Jim Harbaugh or John Harbaugh, they know you said Harbaugh. But Butterball, they think it's ball. I don't know. You guys have that experience?
Yeah, all of my closest friends, they just call me Butters because of the character from South Park.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say now in my life, it's 50-50 if they call me Drew or Butters. Obviously, my family's going to call me Drew, but outside of that, it's pretty split.
So South Park wasn't a thing when I was a kid. When I was a kid, people just called me Butter. Probably until I was in high school. I mean, more of my friends called me Butter than they did Scott, so I'm with you there. It was, I was fine with that. That was a good
It's a
nickname.
fun nickname. Yeah.
What do you think, Nicole?
They messed up my insurance one time at the doctor because they asked me my name and I told them Butterball, and she wrote down Butterball, and I couldn't go in and change it in the account for the doctor. And then it wouldn't read my insurance because she wrote Butterball instead of my actual name, which is Butterbaugh. And then it I wasn't getting my insurance read at the doctor, and it was this huge deal, and I couldn't change the name. And so it involved multiple phone calls and whatnot. And yeah, I still can't believe that she actually thought it was Butterball. And then it caused a huge issue because of it.
It is funny, it doesn't look that hard to spell on paper, but over the phone, spell it every time.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. And most people, if I just tell it to them, I'll watch them spell it out, and they butter, and then they write ball, and I'm like, okay, no, you got to correct that.
You can hear them type 4 keys, and you're like, no.
Yeah, that wasn't right.
Yeah. And when I was a kid, Some people would try to make fun of the name and, add not so nice endings to it and stuff like that. But when you kids were younger, I don't remember kids doing that to you. I mean, I remember some of the kids like thinking that your name was really kind of neat, and I thought, wow, we've evolved. People have evolved. They're not as nasty as they were, although kids are, can be nasty to
Yeah,
each
the
other. But
nastiness manifests in different ways now.
yeah,
It still happened.
yeah, 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 yeah. So it's definitely a name that's interesting. Being from the Midwest, there was a community where my dad grew up where the name was a lot more common. But man, as we moved around, we were usually the only ones, that had that name.
Coolest ones with that name.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Well, then let's talk a little bit more ball. What we got coming up? We got the Super Bowl coming up. Patriots first time without Tom Brady in a long, long, long time. Boy, they went through a little rough patch and got themselves back in there. And now you got
And
the Seahawks. And
Belichick.
when you look at the Seahawks have been there a few times, in the last, I don't know, 20 years and stuff. So they've actually done pretty well. So it looks like the Seahawks are, what was it, 4.5, 5.5 point favorites right off the bat here. What are you thinking? What are you thinking about the Super Bowl? You got any thoughts?
Patriots.
Nicole?
Patriots are my best guess, but also that's because I've been really enjoying the Drake May jokes online, and so I like them. Dad, do you even know what I'm talking about?
Well, I saw one thing where they said he really didn't have a nickname, so he's Drake May, or Drake May, right? Or
Yeah,
something like that?
He
Drake
almost
May
had it.
May. Yeah,
That is pretty funny.
because he's just your basic guy. He's just a simple guy.
Boy, he's burst onto the scene though, right? I mean,
Yeah, well, he also has like a major fan page on Instagram that you'll see where people are obsessed with him.
it
Probably a straight man probably runs the page.
I'm sure.
comes from a family of unbelievable athletes. I mean, they've had a lot of success with them, and so he seems to be like super grounded and just knows how to deal with whatever the situation is. He's really doing a good job. What do you think, Drew? Who do you think is going to win?
Oh, man. We've been talking about the NFL playoffs leading up to this episode a lot, and I think every time I picked against the Seahawks, they would go out and kick someone's ass. So I'm going to, if you can't beat them, join them. I'll pick the Seahawks this time.
I would agree. I think, I was thinking that last week, whoever won the Seahawks Rams game was going to win the Super Bowl. You never know. I mean, it's a tough game. It's going to be they're going to knock hard like as they do in the NFL. And it'll probably come down to if anybody turns the ball over or does anything stupid. And a lot of times you'd look at that and you'd go, well, maybe Sam Darnold's going to fold and, but he's been playing great, and their defense has been playing.
Yeah, I thought he would fold last week, and he didn't. So maybe it happens this week. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's good redemption for him too, for just the way he had to start his career, going to the Jets. I mean, I just fear that any quarterback that has to go there and before they build a team around him, that's just horrible, a horrible spot to be in for anybody. And then getting bounced around from team to team to team, and actually doing what he did well with the Vikings last year, and they wanted to move on too, so you're like, wow, geez, what's the guy got to do, but here he is again. And it's a pretty cool story. So there's some really good stories because I think, he and Drake May are both strong quarterbacks, and they built good teams. They both have, both teams are playing tough defense, and it's the NFL. It's a miracle if you make it this far and aren't hurt. Whoever's left standing, they're going to bang it out. It's going to be awesome. Should be a good time.
It's a great podcast. It's the NFL, man. It's the NFL.
Hey,
It's the NFL.
It's the NFL.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they got it. You get to this point, you kind of would hope I was kind of hoping to see, maybe the Rams, I guess Rams or Seahawks really didn't bother me. I didn't really want to see Denver in there because they're in the Chiefs division. I'd rather see the Chiefs in there, so I don't know. I was kind of just,
So
whatever happens.
you're just a hater?
Kind of. I was kind of a Broncos hater.
I was kind of hoping for the Bears to make it over the Rams. And then from the AFC, I did want to see the Bills go and win for Josh Allen. He's hasn't done that yet, but he's done everything else at this point.
Well, I wonder if anybody's learning any lessons on maybe kicking a field goal once or twice, when you need to, instead of always trying to go for it on fourth down. Because I think that definitely hurt the Bears against the Rams.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
And,
so.
and I think the Rams missed an opportunity to make the game 31-30 last week when they could have added a little heightened pressure maybe at that time, and they didn't do it, and I don't know, man. I think that there's been a lot of, "Oh, I'm a gunslinger, I'm gonna go for it on fourth down," type thing, but, yeah, you gotta consider squeezing the game down to a one-point game or getting points when you can get points can put added pressure on the other team.
Right.
They can make some mistakes too. It's not. I don't think everything is total analytics. There's definitely emotion that comes into it, and playoff football's got to be different than regular season analytics.
Mhm. Unless you were in that, Broncos-Patriots game, I wouldn't wanna kick a field goal in those conditions no matter what.
Well, and they had a chance to kick one in the first half and they didn't. Boy, that hurt them,
They coulda
because
used that later.
yeah, yeah, they needed it because God, in the second half, what could you do? That was unbelievable.
Mhm.
Those conditions were crazy. It wouldn't even have been fun trying to ski in that kind of conditions, I
Oh,
mean,
no.
that was bad stuff. What else? We got the Winter Olympics coming on. So what do you like watching in the Winter Olympics used to be one of my favorites to watch, the Olympic events. I think they're kind of some cool events. What do you like watching, Nicole?
It's a good question. Well, this year, definitely hockey. Like, I guess figure skating a little bit. I don't know a ton about it though, but being that I come from gymnastics and cheer background, like any type of like like artistic or choreographed sport, I definitely have respect for. I don't know, maybe skiing. Michaela Schifrin, is she still in the Winter Olympics competing? She had a mental block experience a few years ago, so I would be willing to turn on and watch her compete just because I like her story. Other than that, I don't know. Anything cool half pipe wise sounds interesting. Yeah. I don't have any like huge major things that to turn on.
Yeah.
But those are a few.
What do you like, Drew? Obviously hockey.
I'm very excited for hockey, yeah, we've been talking about that one a lot. This is the first time since I think it was 2016 or maybe before that NHL players are gonna be playing in it,
Yep.
so this is gonna be a big one. It's gonna be very exciting, especially for the US. I think they're gonna be really good this year.
Yeah.
Outside of hockey, though, I'm not super excited for anything. I'll probably tune into the snowboarding, like you said, that one's fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of I mean, I think there's a lot of fun things to watch on TV when they start to air, because like, well, hockey obviously, but speed skating, I mean, man, they're moving, I mean, it's impressive what they can do, and obviously the endurance they build and all the hard work they do, that's impressive stuff, and they're flying, man. That's kind of fun to watch. This I've always been enamored by the ski jump. I always thought, God, it'd be kind of neat to go to the Winter Olympics and like stand in the bowl down below and watch these guys and girls come flying through the air, and
Mhm.
landing, you know, hundreds of feet below. I mean, that would be nuts to see in person, I'm sure. I guess I don't know how you'd really be able, when I see people watching the bobsled, I'm like, man, I'd kind of be watching NASCAR live,
NASCAR.
they just like flying by you so fast you wouldn't even like know what you see, I guess. I don't know. Figure skating, obviously they put a lot of hard work and the stuff they can do is nuts as well. Yeah, I mean, I think those things and they'd be fun to see in person. I just saw on Netflix, they had the Boys of 80, and they're reminiscing about the 1980 USA hockey team, and when they won it in Lake Placid was a town of like 3,000 people, I mean, wouldn't it have been cool to like be there for that and be in a just tiny town, but yet, huge thing going on, and it was funny how like they showed their first game the stands were only like half full, and they were all like, "Is this all it's going to be? This is kind of," but then they started winning. They tied that game, but then they started winning all their games after that. And then the crowds started showing up and it became the huge thing that it was. It's a really good documentary. I'd watch it if you haven't, because one, I mean, I was a kid living it when back when I watched it, but then obviously they had the movie Miracle, and it's very accurate to what happened because now they're showing like the real life guys in a documentary and they're talking about stuff and they're kind of reliving some of the moments that you would have saw in the movie Miracle as well. It's a really cool story.
You seen all this controversy with the hockey surface for this year?
Well, I saw that they were saying that, the construction was late getting done and all that kind of stuff, and so they really hadn't had a chance to test it great and all that kind of stuff. I I mean, I haven't read anything in the last week or 2 that told me that it wouldn't be good or that they thought it might be not safe or anything. Why, have you anything lately that you've heard?
I saw that they've been playing like a couple of games on it. Um, is it up to NHL standards? I don't know, but
Yeah.
we'll see. Because I know there was some fear that people were worrying NHL players were going to back out if it wasn't ready in time or up to safety standards. But I think I think they're good. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, hockey players are pretty tough, and I think some of these guys just wanna play. It's funny because, shit, a lot of these guys probably grew up on ponds, you know? I mean, hell, they can do anything anywhere, you know?
Oh, especially Canada. Yeah.
Yeah. Shit, they're amazing, you know? So, the let's not get carried away and talk about, that the ice is, like, super scary, as long as it's, frozen and smooth, that hopefully
Mhm.
they can get the games played. And then, I think those are the 2 biggest things on our horizon here in the time to come. I mean, in March, obviously, will be as March Madness gets closer, that's always a fun thing to talk about. Um, you know
We should do our stealing teams game and
uh,
talk about it on the pod.
yeah, that's pretty fun. That's a pretty
That would
fun
be fun.
fun
I'm
thing
always
to do.
down to talk baseball around March too,
Yep.
as the new season's starting.
That's really your forte. You'll have to lead us through that one because I'm not as much of a baseball nerd as you. I mean, I like watching baseball and stuff, but it's gotta be it comes in, like, spurts a little bit, kinda like college basketball does. I mean, I don't watch a ton of college basketball until March Madness. March Madness is probably one of the best tournaments there are. I think it's just so fun to watch that just because of the one and done of it all, and a lot of the buzzer beaters you see and the 5-12 matchups that end up in upsets and stuff like that. It's a good tournament.
Are you having a Super Bowl party?
I don't know that we are. No, no. I mean, nothing really going
Are you
on.
gonna go to a party?
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't heard anything in the neighborhood. Yeah. Well, and I guess we can disclose that we're from Texas here, and man, what an ice storm we had. It was like walking on our golf
Horrific.
course after the storm was like what I would imagine would be like walking on a glacier or maybe on the moon if it's frozen over.
The
I mean,
moon.
it was so weird because I was just bored out of my head, and I'm like, well, I had a big mound of ice in front of the driveway, so I couldn't get my car out, and I thought, well, I'll just walk up to we have a workout facility up in the clubhouse, so I thought, I'll just walk up there, and I was walking up there, and man, I saw like one other person out. That was it. Everybody else is like holed up in their houses. There's no cars driving. It's just like, it's Armageddon. There's nothing happening, and it was slick. It was slippery. Walking up there. Uh, Walking back home, I thought, oh, I'm going to walk on the golf course. There wasn't a bit of pavement you could see, no grass you could see. It's just total what should look like snow, but it's ice. It's crusted ice. There's no possible way I could walk down that hill. So I just sat on the ice and slid down it on my ass, and I was like going pretty good speed. I was like, wow, it's crazy out here. It was
You should have
nuts. I mean,
gone head first like a penguin.
oh god. Well, my fear is I would have gone too far and then go in the pond or something, and end up
You think too
drowning.
much. You
Yeah.
think too much. You always go to the extremes whenever you think about the possibility of something happening.
Well, it was pretty extreme out here. Today, now we've had a couple days of melting and stuff, so now we opened up the course opened up again today, and there are people out there playing, but there's still spots that have snow on the course. It's crazy. I mean, it was this ice this was a probably in the last 15 years, this is probably a top 3 storm that we've had, I think, here in this area anyway. That's pretty wild. Our friends in the northern Midwest, they're all probably going, this would be nothing for us, because they'd have the equipment to take care of the roads and everything else. But man, down here shuts everything down.
It
Pretty wild.
does. Well, I work remotely with some people from like the Philadelphia area or New
Uh-huh.
Jersey, Philadelphia area. But even they, like my boss sent us a video of him walking outside to go shovel the driveway and he slipped and he fell. And he sent us the video. And he was also a former college football player. And I'm like, damn, you go from, like tackling guys like 1,500 times a week to slipping on the ice in your driveway and it just takes you out. Times change.
And you could end up with a pretty bad injury too if you fall wrong. It's crazy. And there were a couple of mom's friends in the neighborhood slipped on the ice and one of them broke her wrist. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
last week?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
You should see if you can edit in that video of you skating on it.
on the snow outside.
Yeah, out on the street.
Yeah, it
Got in
looked
the
a
street.
little rough.
It was rough. Yeah, I was like, don't fall down, Then I looked at the video and I thought, God, I look like crap, I'm
I look terrible.
yeah, what the hell? I thought I was a lot smoother than that. Jesus, I don't look smooth at all. But it was pretty rough. I was hoping that I wouldn't like hit a part that would have like a piece of pavement sticking out and then see a spark and then fall flat on my face, or something.
Now you have to buy new
Again,
blades.
the extremes that you're thinking of here. Again with the extremes.
Yeah, it was kind of fun though. But I'm
You've
glad
always
it's
felt
over.
like that. Just like whenever Mom fell off the ledge at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium and you didn't help her because you thought that there was going to be a bone sticking out of her leg.
Yeah,
The extremes. The extremes.
Hey, you never know. You never know. You got to be prepared. All right. So, how do we want to close this today? You guys want to talk about anything more before we call it a day today?
Tease our next episode, or
Yeah. Well, I think if we talk next week, we're gonna have a Super Bowl to talk about.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. So make sure you watch the commercials. And
good commercials.
yeah, we gotta. Maybe we can rate the commercials a little bit, talk a little bit about that. Obviously, the game, but this will be for us Chiefs fans, this is the first Super Bowl that we really don't have to be like thinking about the game that much, right? I mean, heck, we can like just hang back,
You can enjoy the commercials.
But that makes it not as fun.
Well, but maybe you'll pay attention more to commercials and stuff.
Like
if
if I make cake balls, like I can't make them Chiefs colors like normal, and I can't wear my jersey.
Well, you can. You can
No one
still
said
show
you
your.
can't.
Yeah, you can still. Show
I don't want to be that nerd that wears their team's jersey when their team isn't playing. Come on.
I do hate when people do that. You see them at a game or whatever, and they're just wearing whatever baseball jersey they have, and it's like,
Yeah, they'll
Do you
get
know
a
who's
hockey
playing?
game and they'll just wear their team's jersey just to show that they have a different team that is not one of these two. But I do like hockey.
it's a pet peeve of mine.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and then they're starting off with women's hockey next week, right? For the Winter Olympics,
I think that's
And then-
before.
and then the men's start, I think, a week later than that. I don't know when the opening ceremonies are. It's got to be coming up here quick, though.
It's I'm pretty sure it's the 6th.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's in
Are
a
we
few
going to talk about
days.
Bad Bunny's halftime show? Do you even know who he is?
Yeah, I know who he is. He was in Happy Gilmore too, right?
Yes, he
okay.
was.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. See.
Surprised that you remember that. I'm surprised that you even know who he is, to be
Well,
He had
honest.
a big role in Happy Gilmore too.
Yeah, he actually did.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, Happy Gilmore is one of the all-time best movies ever, and so I was pretty excited for the Happy Gilmore 2 sequel. It was
Yeah.
fun.
It was
was
kind
fun.
of a younger demographic.
It was. It
type
was.
movie than I thought it would be, but it was
Yeah.
still good.
Well,
I can't talk bad about it because I do love Adam Sandler.
Yeah, the humor always changes over the years, but the original Happy Gilmore was awesome.
I thought the first half of Happy Gilmore 2 was exactly like what everyone wanted. It was awesome. And then the second half gets super weird, and I don't know what's going on anymore.
It did start taking a turn.
with the new golf league and
The
all
hips,
Yeah, the new
hips and
golf league was
everything,
dumb.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of but all the cameos by people and stuff. It was fun. It was good. It was
Mhm.
good. It was a good movie. Yeah. Well, in golf, we really haven't talked much golf. Golf, you got some shakeups there with Brooks Koepka coming back to the PGA, and Patrick Reed's coming back to the PGA from the Live, and So there's things going on there
Surprised that's even allowed.
that's changing, so it's interesting. Yeah.
We could talk about that in a future episode too. A golf episode
Absolutely.
would be fine.
Absolutely.
I need to hit the driving range myself.
Yeah, it's a never-ending process. Okay, well, I think this is enough for today. What do you think?
Yeah.
I think
I'll make a list. I'll prepare for the Super Bowl talk next week.
Yeah.
I'll be
The
ready.
commercials talk.
Commercials, we can go in depth about the game too. Give this next episode a little more ball.
There we
talk.
go. All right, so we'll remind everybody that they have been listening to Butterball. It's a podcast of family members just talking ball, and
having a ball.
And we'll make sure that we prepare for talk a little Super Bowl and what's going on next week, and hope that you all join us.